Hi there, my name's Alison and I'm the Frugal Knitter. I'm based in the beautiful Scottish borders in the UK, and I just want to welcome everybody to this second podcast. I want to say also a big thank you to everybody that watched my first podcast. I was absolutely blown away by all the lovely things that people said, encouragement, kind words. It was fantastic. I didn't really think it would get the response that it did. If you've come back, then brilliant. Thank you so much. And if you are a new viewer, then please do subscribe. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy joining me on my journey through to frugal knitting. So I shall be see what I pick up, and I will be showing it to you, things that are cheap and cheerful, and yeah, so I mean, you don't have to spend a fortune to want to knit. You don't have to go out and buy these beautiful fancy yarns to knit with. You can get some lovely yarn that does have acrylic content, or 100% acrylic, you know, and some people can't wear wool, so yeah, there's nothing wrong with buying acrylic if that is one all you can afford, or if that's all you can wear. So anyway, we shall crack on, and the first thing I want to show you today is it's my first finished object, and it is this lovely shawl that I made. And the yarn, I'll just find the ball. It is Stylecraft Charm lace weight. I think I showed you this before, and it was just a free pattern on the back. It's called the Garter Stitch Stripe Shawl. It was dead easy to make. It took, after, excuse you now, if you can hear that thumping, it's actually my dog Yogi on the other side of the door with his bone. He may also pick up his squeaky toy as well, so don't be alarmed if you hear strange noises in the background. Unfortunately, I thought I'd put him out there because he does have a tendency to grab my wool, and if I can't keep an eye on it, then he will run off with it. So yeah, so that's what those strange noises are. So anyway, this is, so it's Charm Lace Weight Stylecraft. It comes in a 200-gram ball, and it's 85% acrylic, 10% wool and 5% mohair, and that was £11.50. And it was a dead simple to knit, and all it was is just plain knitting. You start off with, I think it was 3 stitches to begin with, and what you do is each row, you see it's got this lovely little, this bobbly edging on it, and all you do is at the beginning of each row you just cast on 5 and then cast off 2, and it just leaves this lovely edge, and it comes in quite a few different colourways. I love the colourway here. There was a sample of it in the shop, but I don't suit that colour at all. I look awful in it. So I chose this colour, greens and blues. I don't know if you can see that. And it didn't take me long to knit up. I think I started it, I'd only just started it when I did my last podcast 2 weeks ago. And I finished it, it was last weekend, so it took me just over a week, but I wasn't doing it, I was only doing it for a little bit in the evenings. And with the mohair in it, it has got a bit of a sort of like a fuzz to it. Now I don't particularly like mohair very much. It gets up my nose and it tickles my throat. Somebody suggested that I put it in the freezer for a little while, so I did that. I said, how long shall I leave it in there for? They said, oh, about 20 minutes. So I put it in the morning, and just before I went to bed I suddenly thought, oh no, my scarf. So I rushed to the freezer and got a very crunchy scarf out, but it was actually fine, and it has made it softer. I didn't block it or anything because I don't actually have anywhere big enough to lay out scarves and that to block. I don't know what to do actually, because I've just given up my big dining room table, and I've just got a small bistro table because there's just the two of us here eating most of the time, so I haven't got a big table. I can't put it on the bed because obviously you do it at night and I should be sleeping in it. I can't put it on the floor because I've got 4 dogs. So yeah, so if anybody's got any ideas of how to do blocking if you haven't got a lot of space, then let me know, because I would be interested to find out, because obviously as I'm doing jumpers and things, then I will need a bit of space to block things. So that's that. I've taken it off because it is quite warm. Right, so put that there. The second thing that I finished was a test knit, and it was it's called the Yves cap. I can tell you now because it's it has now been published. It's the Yves cap, and it was just stocking stitch all the way through, and I didn't enjoy it, to be honest, but that's just me. If I'm knitting a hat, so I will give this to charity, if I knit a hat, I'm so used to just knitting them up quickly, so that I can get as many done and send them on their way. But this I wouldn't use. It's okay if you're just knitting it for yourself and you want to take your time over it. Use the magic loop method at the beginning. And what else was it? I was trying to think. There was something else that was a bit different. And we casted on. Just trying to think how we casted on. I can't find it. Oh, we used a Turkish cast on, which I've never used before, but it is quite easy. It was a Turkish cast on, and we started from the top down. Yeah, but it just seemed to drag on for ages and ages because it's just this ribbon. But because of the ribbon, it's great really, especially for a charity hat, so I shouldn't really moan, is because it can go on a smaller head or it can stretch really wide. So really it could be anything from a child up to a man really. Yeah, and I did that. I didn't want to use any special wool, so the wool, so it's not wool, is it? It's yarn. It was just 99p, which I paid for it out of Poundland. Yeah, so, but it came up okay. It would, I'd recommend it if you're knitting it, if you just want a plain simple beanie hat for yourself, or you know, or somebody in your household that works outside, or you know. But I wouldn't recommend it if you want to, if you're doing it for charity, because really it just takes too long, and it was just a little bit boring for me. But don't take that. It is a good pattern. It's written by Shannon Larston from Just Living Designs on Ravelry. So there's the hat there. So yeah, it's a good pattern. I don't know how much it is. As I say, it was a test knit for what I did, but yeah, it's not bad. And actually, that 99p yarn from Poundland, it is just so soft. So if you wanted to use it for any baby garments, it's absolutely lovely. I don't know what it would wash like. I mean, I really don't know, but it's beautiful and soft and squidgy. You can't complain for 99p, and I only used not even half a ball. So for 99p, you probably get 2, maybe 3 hats. So you can't complain at that. And it's great if you are a newbie, or you're teaching children to knit. You know, if they make mistakes, then it's not going to matter. You haven't wasted good wool. I also want to show you, I've got my cup of coffee here. This mug I picked up. It's just got puffins on it. And every knitter loves a puffin, and the design is by Betty Cunningham. Betty Cunningham. There we go. This lovely puffin, and I thought, oh, I must get that. That's great. And I've just got me good old coffee inside. Nothing special, just Nescafe. Right. So the next thing I finished was a cardigan that I was doing for my daughter. Now this is the cardigan that I showed you last time, and I started it about a year ago. And the story behind it was that she wanted a big baggy cardigan. I went to Berwick to get the wool. That was fine. I knitted it the back up really quickly, and then I went back I live about, it's about a 30-minute, 40-minute drive from here. I don't go over to Berwick that often. It's usually if I combine it with shopping. I got there, went to pick up the rest of my wool because she puts it by for you, and the shop was closed. So that was that. And then I went back once again, shop was closed again. Went on the website, I tried phoning, no answer, and then I found out, she put it on her Facebook page, I think it was, this is going back a year, that she wasn't very well. So then I didn't get the rest of my balls for ages, and by then I'd kind of gone off the idea of knitting it, and by then it was becoming springtime. My daughter had got another cardigan, and it just, when I did get the wool, it just got shoved to the back of the cupboard. Now it's just a straightforward, we did that one, it's just a straightforward cardigan, nothing very special, okay, just king cold and chunky yarn, and yeah, I just looked at it, I cast on the number that it's stitches that it said, didn't really think, and just happily knitted away. I obviously wasn't wearing my glasses because I didn't look and I didn't read the pattern, and suddenly realised that down here we've got all this extra ribbon. Okay, so I mean I shouldn't be allowed to have knitting needles. So the inside is actually the outside, and the outside is the inside of this cardigan, because I'd already sort of like started doing the arms and everything. Well, anyway, look, I'll show you. So this ribbon here is what should have been on the outside, okay, but no, I had the other side, so it just looks like just a normal plain jumper, okay, but I didn't recognise it until I was actually on the sleeves, and I thought, and I was just checking the pattern for the decreases, and then I suddenly noticed that actually I'd done it. I did the body, so that is the outside, which is actually on the inside. So I said to my daughter, I says, what do you want to do? Do you want me to do it so that that ribbon is on the outside like it's supposed to be, just here, or do you want it on the inside so it matches matches the rest of the cardigan? So she's, well, actually, she goes, she didn't like the ribbon, so that was okay. So it's on the inside, and it's staying on the inside, but it is such a lovely warm jumper, just plain, nothing fancy. She's only tiny. I did it in a size, just a small size. It was the smallest size, 32 to 34 inch bust, and this is in, where's my, this is a bit of wool that I had left over. It's in the King Cole Autumn Chunky, and as much as I like it because it is beautiful and soft and lovely, I don't think I would want to knit in it again, because it did shed a lot of fibres, which made me cough and sneeze, and also it really kind of, it's not that tightly, it's not that tightly, and it just it broke off very, very easy, especially when I was sewing it up. Yeah, so that shade was Frozen, King Cole Autumn Chunky. It was £4.19. I don't know what, that's the price that they charge in Wool Warehouse, but I got it from a local yarn shop, and it's really lovely. It's a shame, but I just it feels nice and it knits up lovely and all the rest of it, but I just wasn't it's okay, it's just that I'm a bit allergic to fibres coming off and everything, so if you're not, then it's probably fine. And I wasn't keen the way that it did break off quite easy. But yeah, and then I wanted to finish it on Sunday, and as I said, we don't have much choice in places to get haberdashery and buttons and that here. So on a Sunday there's nowhere open. So I went to the local garden centre, and these buttons, I don't know if you, just plain old plastic buttons. They only did them in packs of 2, and they was £2.25 for 2, and I needed 6. And I just thought, ooh, I just didn't really want to spend that kind of money, and because they're nothing special. And the thing is, years ago, my mum she did a short stint working in a button factory. And when I was a child, I remember she had this big sack of buttons that was all virtually odd. There wasn't many that you could actually make a set out. And I used to play hours and hours with these buttons. And I thought, gosh, you know, there was a whole set. I'd stuck on one side, I think. But no, but they're okay. Just, I shan't be going out to buy buttons on a Sunday again, because obviously if you can buy them loose, then they're a lot cheaper. So yeah, so that's nice. That's going to keep her warm. She has worn it already. It's really it's lovely. I wouldn't mind one myself, but I just don't want to knit with that wool again. So that's that. The only other thing I finished was another dishcloth. Another dishcloth. There we go. The one that I showed you last time, exactly the same as this. This is the same yarn, which was the James Sabret yarn. It is. I thought it'd be too soft for a dishcloth, but I've actually been using the other one as dishcloth, and it's absolutely fine. It's okay. The only thing, I did want to knit some for presents, and I just wanted some different colours, but I'll show you that in a moment. So that's that. So that's everything that I've finished. Before I forget, our local town puts on a local poppy display every year, and this year I thought I would go down there and film it and take some photographs. So if you can stick around until the end, what I'll do is I'll try, if I can, I'll try and add it onto the end of this. I don't know if I'll manage it or not, so if it's not there, I'm sorry. But if I can add some photographs or a bit of the film, then I will do. But I wanted to show you it because it's absolutely beautiful, and the amount of work that went into knitting all these poppies. It was down by the Abbey, so I've took a couple of pictures of that. A hotel that I used to work in as well. It shows you the town hall, and it's all decorated with poppies, and it looks lovely. And I think it is actually growing every year, and there seem to be more and more of a display, so that's great. And I think there's a committee, a team of ladies that must just sit knitting poppies all year round, but it looks beautiful. And there's even one there, Murphy's Army, purple poppies, in aid of the animals that you know, ex-service dogs and horses and what have you. Murphy's Army, they sell their own purple poppies, and I got one for our dog, and me and my daughter have got one which we wear. I haven't got it here actually at the moment, otherwise I'd show you. So yeah, so now if you're not aware, you can get purple poppies, and you can get obviously your red ones as well, but the purple ones, I was going to try and knit one, but I thought no, I wanted to give some money to the charity, so I just bought our poppies that had been hand knitted from eBay. Yeah, so that's Murphy's Army, if anybody wants to support that, and the money goes towards ex-service animals. And they've even got, keep an eye out if you're looking at the footage at the end, but there's even pigeons. They even commemorate the pigeons that you know, used to carry the messages and that, which is, it's amazing what they did. Right, so I'm gabbling on here, just I'm doing my best. The trouble is, I don't know how to edit. So, yeah, so until I learn how to edit, I'm afraid you just have to put up me waffling on. Right, so what have I got on the needles? Okay, so I was in a yarn store over in Hoyk. It's called Fun to Do, and I've got quite a bit of yarn there. And I only went in to have a little wander around. That was all. I wasn't going to buy anything. And then they had this lovely jumper that somebody had knitted up for display, and I thought, oh, I want it. So again, it's not a difficult jumper to do. It's one of these mindless knits, hopefully, that I can take to knit club with me. And they had it there in a light blue at the top and a dark blue at the bottom, and I just love the colours as well. And I thought, oh, I want to do that. So the yarn wasn't expensive. It was in the Highland Heather style craft, so I got myself, I think I needed 6 balls, so I just got 4 balls of the light blue and 2 balls of the dark blue, and I can't remember how much I've written down here somewhere, so I'm muttering away. Right, so I haven't got the price on it at the moment. I'll just show you. But it's this. Oh, here we go. It was £3.45 for 100 grams. And that's the Stylecraft Highland Heather in double knit. So I've got 4 balls of this and 2 balls in this. I've just cast on. So I may have it finished by next time, hopefully. Yeah, all these bits of fluff stuck in it. So terrible. Right, okay, so that's that. And it's really, really soft. It's only acrylic. The light blue is, the shade is Cairn. I don't know what the dark blue, I'll let you know that next time. I think it's 100% acrylic. Yeah, 100% acrylic. So yeah, you can even tumble dry it, which I don't have a tumble dryer, but yeah, so that's that. So yeah, I hope to get that bit more done on that and finished. What else am I doing at the moment? This. Well, I've driven everybody absolutely mad at the 2 knitting clubs that I go to with the most boring project I think I've ever done. And thank gosh it's only for a small child. This is it. Now, my daughter wanted this. It's just plain knitting all the way, no shaping, but she wanted it in navy blue. It won't take me long, but she's been asking for it for ages, and I keep putting it off because 1, I don't like knitting in navy blue because I have trouble seeing. 2, it's nothing but garter stitch. There's no shaping or anything else. I just I shouldn't complain. I shouldn't. But the thing is, she doesn't just want the blue one. She also wants a green one. The green won't be so bad because it's a nicer colour to knit with. Oh, it's just so boring. So I've been taking it to knit club, and it's great because I can just knit and chat and everything. But I just like to do something with a bit of a pattern, at least a bit of stocking stitch. So yeah, so I'm enjoying that at the moment. I just want to do something nice. Right, and with that I'm just knitting it in Robin. Just Robin double knit. I think it's 100% acrylic. Yeah, 100% acrylic again. That just came from the garden centre, that yarn. So yeah, so that'll be finished next time. I'm hoping it'll be finished by the weekend because I can't endure any more of it because it's just so boring. So that's it. I've still got my vanilla socks on the go. I shan't be doing any of those anytime soon, I don't think, because I'll probably do those after I've finished the charge jumper, or both the charge jumper. I've just got those really to knit if I'm, I don't know, on the train or wherever. and I haven't been on the train for a while, so I haven't done any of that. Right, so that's that. So the next thing I want to show you are my acquisitions, and this is the fun part for me because I get to show you all the wonderful things that I've picked up while I've been going around the charity shops. Okay, and the first thing I want to show you, I picked up some books this week, and something's fallen on the floor. And you've probably seen some of these books before. So the first one is toilet roll covers, and it cost me £2.50. And I just got this because I thought, oh yeah, it would be really good to do some gifts for Christmas. I don't know if I'll get round to any, but if not, they can do fun. And there's some really good ones in here. I don't know if any, some of you have probably seen them before, but there was one of a sheep that I wanted to do. This one, I thought he was just dead cute, and I thought, yeah, I can just see him sitting on top of my toilet. And there was another one in here, because these are great, because the techniques that some of them use, you can, it's great if you're just learning a new technique, such as this one. So you get to learn how to do different techniques, but just in a small, it's better than just doing like a square. You're actually doing something. There was that one that I liked, to walk in the woods. And where was the other one? There's a pig. There's a nice simple one. I thought that'd be quite nice, like for Christmas. And you could do it with the silver, you can get that silver, is it embroidery yarn? That's my daughter just come in now, so you have to excuse the noise. There we go, because the dogs will be barking. She's just come home from college. So yeah, and yes, I think I might have a go at a couple of those. There's a piano. Yeah, so it's good. Polar bear as well. Here she comes. She's. I'm just doing my podcast. What? I'm just doing my podcast. You can say hello. And that's the dog as well. She's not going to say hello. Okay. Right, I think that took her by surprise a bit. But we've got Yogi here, haven't we? Yes, and I didn't want you in here. Right, okay. So this one is called One Ball of Wool. And that was £2.50 as well. I think these came from... doesn't say on the thing. Could have been the Heart Foundation shop. I can't remember. But anyway, hats, scarves, gloves, bags, toys and slippers. And it's got some great things in it. It's even got like, it's got a dog's bow tie. All the dogs flop down now. What else have we got in here? There's a dog sweater. You can, little dog coat there. There's ear warmers, cowl. There's some, is that crochet? It might be crochet, some crochet mittens. There. So there's lots of different things in here that you can do. It's also got techniques at the back. But I thought, well, you know what, £2.50, you can't certainly get a pattern for that these days. And there's your ear warmers there. So yeah, so that was another one. I thought that was quite good. And then we've got Twinkle Big City Knits. So, and that was £3 from Oxfam. 31 Chunky Chic Designs by Wen Lan Chia. And this book, it'd been $39.95 Canadian dollars. I've still got the gift aid tag on the back. I don't think it's got it in UK pounds. And $32.50 US dollars. And we've got some really good stuff in here. We've got Cardigan. And these are all in chunky. What else is there? We've got Shawl. I'm holding this very well, am I? You can't see that very well because it's white. We've got a vest. Another sweater there. So loads of patterns in here, loads. There's a tunic. If you happen to be, it's called the Twiggy tunic. So if you're built like Twiggy, there you go. Unfortunately, I'm not, so I shan't be knitting that one. Yeah, so there's this skirt, and I just really love that skirt. I would do that, but I don't think I could pull it off somehow. But yeah, so that's really nice. So that's Twinkle's Big City Knits. That was a bit more, that was £3. But when you think about the number of patterns in there, there's quite a bit. And when you also think about how much magazines cost now as well. I mean, I just picked up, was it the Knitter? And it was like, was it £6.99 or something? Yeah, so they're not cheap. And actually, I put it down and gave away, I didn't bother with it. Right, so what else did I pick up? I picked up this little bag. It was 75 pence. That was from the Cancer Research Shop, and it's brand new. It's never been used. I don't know if it is. It's still got its cardboard in there, but you keep notions, or it's actually it's big enough to, if you're knitting socks or something, you can put your project in there. So that was quite nice. Brand new. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and it's like a white clean cover as well. You could put, I think it's almost long enough for the short kind. It's long enough, not quite long enough for needles, but it's certainly big enough for a small project. So that was 75 pence. I picked up another project bag. This one you can definitely get your needles in. It's just a homemade one. Somebody's made out of some old curtains or something. So it works fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, and out of the same shop, this was from Oxfam. Now that was 50 pence. And then I got some stitch markers as well. These were £1.99. And they were made in Galashiels by Jessie Groudon Design. Jessie Groudon Design Company. So just some little stitch markers. And I was itching to use them, but I haven't because I wanted to show you them first because they was new in the bag. So they was £1.99. I don't know how much they would have been new. And then I've got this project, which is fine, you know. Might not have puffins on, but it serves the same purpose. And then now this wasn't a charity find. This I actually paid full price, and I got it this morning. I'm sorry if I'm looking not at you. I never know where to look. I try to look at the little red dot, and then I forget, and I don't know why my eyes keep going off in the wrong direction. Anyway, I got this morning, and I know I shouldn't have done because I probably don't deserve it, but I got it anyway. And it's a little alpaca and sheep notions tin. So I can put my new stitch markers in there, along with all the old ones that I've got, and any bits and bobs and my needles. And that was £3.50, and it's one of those designed by Emma Ball. Okay, here we go, I took the price off yet. And what does it say? It says, a wee tin to store little bits in, designed by Emma Ball. Yeah, so I can put my bits and bobs in there. I haven't opened it yet. Ah, I did, because inside it's got the buttons, which I also purchased at the same time, to go on the little navy blue jumper that I'm knitting for my grandson. And I just got a bit better than the other buttons that I got for my daughter's jumper. And they're just these little blue ones with white dots on. So I just bought 3 of them, and I think they were about 20 pence each or something. So much cheaper to buy your buttons loose than in packets, because I did see these in the garden centre and there was no buttons there. I bought the cheapest ones at £2.25. So yeah, so much cheaper to buy loose buttons and to get them out of your local yarn store rather than the garden centre. But that's that little tin. I thought it was just so cute. I just love it. Yeah, so that's that. Now, yarn. You remember the dishcloth that I did? Well, I wanted some proper dishcloth cotton, and I managed to get some online. I don't know, where did I get it from? I can't remember where I got it from now. Oh, Love Crafts, it's on the bag. Written all over the bag. Love Crafts, and I've got 3 colours. This is the proper dishcloth cotton. It's 24/7. And this is in the colour Jade. And yeah, so these come in 100-gram balls, and you can feel it is silky, but it is, it's similar to what I used to use years ago. I used to knit with the Lion brand, and it didn't come in as many colours then. It didn't have this luster on it. I don't know if you can see, it looks like silky, but anyway. And then I got also one in colourways Golden Rod, and that is about the right colour as well, that's showing on the screen there. And then I also got Silver Argent as well, so the grey. So I thought if I do, I thought they 3 colours, I thought they went okay together. So what I'll do is I'll knit 3 up in 3 different designs and give them as gifts. And what I'll do is I'll tie them up with a bow, a little bow, and give them as gifts for Christmas. So that's that. And with these you can get, I don't know how many dishcloths I'll get out of one, but I should imagine quite a few. So I can't remember how much they were. I don't know if it's in there. I can't remember how much it was now. But it wasn't expensive. Yeah, and then you get these lovely dishcloths, which you can use. I do love homemade dishcloths, and it's amazing how they do take. I'd cooked a chicken in a roasting pan, and of course bits will get stuck over, and I used the dishcloth and it actually got them off. So I don't know if it was my wonderful dishcloth or the detergent, which I only use cheap detergent, so I'm hoping it was my dishcloth. But it does rub off quite well, especially if you use plain knitting, because obviously you've got the little ridges in there. Yeah, so yeah, they're great. Ta-da! I love that. So that's it anyway. I think we're just about at the end. I've shown you what I've bought. I've showed you what I've got on my needles. I've showed you what I've completed. So I think that's about it. So that was a much shorter podcast this time. I'll show you what I'm reading. That's what I'll do. I'll show you what I'm reading if I can find it. Hang on, I'm going to disappear. Right, so this book, I got it a while ago and I read halfway through it and life got in the way, and usually I'm working in the evenings. I get so tired, and I'm just even too tired to read sometimes. So I just picked it up again, and it's called This Golden Fleece by Esther Rutter, and it's a journey through Britain's knitted history. And it really is good. I really did like it. I think I got it from Amazon. And it's brilliant. It's a lady, she gave up her job. I forget what it is that she was though now. And she gave up her job to write this book and to travel the length and breadth of Britain, and recording the knitting history of each particular area. She goes into detail about the mills, about the abbeys, and also the abbeys. There's Melrose Abbey, Kelso Abbey, Jedburgh Abbey, and how the monks kept their sheep, and they had thousands and thousands of sheep in the Scottish borders, by the, I think it would be land owned by the monks from Melrose Abbey, and the thousands of sheep they kept. And it's really, really fascinating. It goes right down to Devon and Cornwall, and yeah, to the Hebrides and to Shetland, and it's got some great pictures in here as well. And I liked reading it because it shows you different places, well, knits and that from Shetland. And I actually lived on the Isle of Hunts, which is Shetland's most northerly isle, and we lived up there for 2 years. And a funny story was that at the time I wasn't really a big knitter. At that time the children was all quite young, and I didn't really kind of have much time for knitting. And we moved up to the Isle of Hunts. We lived in one of the old RAF houses in Bolter Sound. And in the evenings, I thought, oh, you know, there must be some kind of club or something that I can go to and meet local people and make a few friends. So I heard that there was a knitting club. So I thought to myself, brilliant, that's great, that's just what I want, there's a knitting club. So so I gathered up my wool, and well, it wasn't even wool, it was part wool, part acrylic. And I shoved them in my carrier bag, and off I went to which is now the Shetland Museum. It was a museum at the time, but it was in its small beginnings. This was like 15 years ago. So they'd only started sort of like just putting it together. And so we sat in the museum to do our knitting. And obviously I knew they were going to be absolutely brilliant knitters there. But I just didn't realise how brilliant. So there's me, an incomer from England. Well, we was living in Scotland, but of course I'm originally from England. And gets out me knitting, and I was actually I was knitting this Springer Spaniel dog toy for one of my daughters. And there was these women there, oh, so talented, and doing their lace shawls and their spinning and their fair jumpers, and there was me with my knitting a Springer Spaniel with acrylic wool. But yeah, anyway, I just thought, oh no, I could have, it was horrible. And yeah, so anyway, in the end they got me knitting a one-ply lace shawl, which I did eventually finish, but it took me months. And not because I wasn't enjoying it or found it particularly difficult, it was the fact that I had trouble seeing it. I just don't know how I found it difficult to concentrate that much for any length of time. So yeah, I did slog my way through it. I don't have it now. I don't know what happened to it, to be honest. I think I gave it away or something. I wish I hadn't have done. Yeah, but this, and I'll never forget my poor Springer Spaniel. But I finished the Springer Spaniel at home, and then they had the Rural Show, which is the equivalent to the English Women's Institute. And I hadn't been to one of these shows before, and I thought, oh, do you know what? You know, they had this toy section, and I thought I'm gonna enter that Springer Spaniel. So I stuck it in the class for the toy section. But again, I went back, it was 4 o'clock or something when they opened up the doors. Actually, I think it was earlier than that. I think it was probably 3 o'clock. They opened up the doors so people could go in and see how they'd done and what prizes they'd got. And now locally, I'd been entering the shows, and I always did quite well. And I've got my name on a few cups and shields and what out there. So I wasn't embarrassed at all by my Springer Spaniel. Well, we went in, and it didn't even get highly commended. In fact, it had been shoved to the back and totally ignored, and it didn't come anywhere. but I'd done it with all these loopy ears, you know, stranded the wool so the ears look, you know, loopy, and oh, it was lovely. But no, nobody appreciated it. So anyway, never mind. I took it home and my daughters loved it, and they kept it for a long, long time. I think it fell to bits in the end, but even their toys were just way out of my league, way out of my league. So yeah, so it was interesting reading this book. It was interesting reading, you know, about the history of the knitting in Shetland, the other islands as well, about the Guernseys and the Guernseys and all the rest of it. So yeah, so that is a really good one. It's obviously it's not non-fiction, but it's just about her travels through the country. Yeah, so I recommend that. That's good. If anybody else has got any books related to knitting, not necessarily with patterns in, but sort of like, you know, travel diaries that I've got knitting in, or anything sort of going into greater detail about Fair Isle or the Guernseys or whatever, knitting history, let's say knitting history, then if you comment down below, I'd like to know if there's any more similar books out there which would make a good read. Also, I'd like to thank everybody that put in suggestions. I had not the shawl, well, you know what, the thing that I had last week on, and I said it kept curling at the bottom. So like a, what do you call it? Not a capelet, but you know, it just come up here. It was like a jumper with no arms and no bottom. Well, it kept curling, and I said I didn't really bother, because actually I ran out of wool, so I had to take some different wool to finish it off, just basically to cast off, and it kept on curling. But I said, oh, it doesn't matter, because I'm just going to wear it in the house anyway. But somebody suggested unpicking it and just knitting 2 or 3 rows in knit. So thank you for that. A couple of people suggested that. I am going to try it. I haven't had time to do it yet, but that is next on my list. I'm hopefully going to get that done either perhaps tomorrow or the day after. So I'll let you know how that goes. So all I can say is thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as the first one. I've enjoyed sitting here talking to you. I hope I haven't rattled on too long. I hope it just doesn't sound some loads of garbage. I'll try. Yeah, so I'm going to try and put the footage on that I've got of the knitted poppies from around our town. Take a look, because the work that's gone into it it's fantastic. I just want you to share, I just wanted to share that with you, because it's they're lovely, they're beautiful. So hopefully I'll get that, or put some photographs on or something. I'll try my hardest, okay? Anyway, I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and thumbs up it if you liked it. That would be great, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks very much then. Bye bye.